If you want to bring it into practice, you have to learn how to look at it from the user's perspective. In a sense, you need to become like an anthropologist that looks at it from the people perspective. For a curious person, there's an infinite number of things to be curious about.
Well, good afternoon, Glenn, Professor Glenn Dieger. You and I, we go back a long way, particularly during our term together at CHM Hill, became Jacobs. I was leading international water, and you were a technology fellow back in the head office in Denver. And we traveled the world together, and we've seen a lot. So if I go back over, let's say, your career, if I may, I wouldn't like to say how long it is, but I mean, you can tell me that in a moment.
Almost 5 decades.
Exactly. So over those 5 decades, here we are at an innovation sustainability conference. What really have you seen? Is there anything that really stand out that you've seen over the past 5 decades that would say, wow, that's really impactful and it's moving us forward? What are the areas that you're seeing that are making an impact today?
Well, I would certainly, being here in the Middle East, Saudi and the Middle East, certainly in terms of technologies, membrane technologies over the last, particularly the last 3 decades have been transformational and continue to be transformational in terms of managing water. So, it's interesting when you look at RO, particularly for RO desal. So we have a technology that actually makes water too clean, right? We process it through RO. We take everything out and then we remineralize it. And if you take a liter of seawater, you produce a little over a liter of too clean water, and a little bit less than half a liter, and a little bit less than half a liter of this brine and so forth. So there's still so much opportunity in terms of even the revolutionary technologies that we have. So I will say though, I've spent my life in technology, but technology by itself doesn't save us. The other thing that I've seen, it's when people decide to fix their water problems, when people decide to provide good water service to the people and look at the impacts on the environment, there's a way to do it no matter where you are. So the places that don't have it is because people tolerate it. There is no reason on this planet why there's any place that doesn't have good water management, good water service for people, and protects the environment. So I would say we're progressing on that. We're making progress in terms of not only in places that have traditionally not had good water service, but even places like the US and the UK where we live, that we're doing a better job of that balance of reliable and robust service, but also starting to think a bit more about the broader environmental impacts.
On that point of broader, the kingdom at the moment is starting to look at water much more holistically. So besides the fact, obviously, we're very good at desalination, but we also have wastewater as a resource. It does rain here. The opportunity, I think, exists that we could deploy more wastewater reuse, particularly if we're going to go down a path of, let's say, digital AI, building data centers. Everything needs water. Water is a common thread everywhere. Do you see that as a good strategy? Because here we also have aquifers that are non-replenishable. So then we can start to look at aquifer recharge and other solutions. And I think when we were talking earlier, you talked about very often you need to have a problem to find the solution. So could you see the aquifer as part of that problem that we're trying to solve here?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, I think we're getting to, we need to, in terms of our objectives, we need to set objectives and maybe even more than objectives, but requirements that go beyond the urban side, if I can use that. So aquifers are definitely part of that. We should be maintaining we should not be depleting. We should be maintaining the level in aquifers. That technology clearly exists and just needs to be implemented. Also, you look at the number of places where we've just over abstracted water out of the environment. Where we have water problems, it's because we are trying to manage water in the way we have in the past, when we had much less demand for water. So we've got all the tools. You're really speaking to one of the ways that this is expressed is one, water. So looking at water, water holistically. The Aussies, as they were going through the Millennium Drought, the phrase that they used was...
When you say the Aussies, you mean the Australians?
The Australians,
okay,
yes,
right.
yes. Okay. They talked about the portfolio. So the portfolio is the combination of water supplies that, some of them work well when it's raining. Others work well when it hasn't rained for a long time. So putting together that combination, and many places in water short areas now where that paradigm is coming into place. In the Southwest United States, we have almost all the major utilities are now putting potable water reuse in place because they say, well, I will need it. So it's not the water supply of last resort. It's that we need it. So yes, here in Saudi, the same thing.
That probably moves me on to something else. We very often talk about recycling. We talk about, in some cases now, circularity. I don't think we go far enough on that. And in other cases, we're talking about regeneration. On that last one, on regeneration, do you think that's something that's feasible? Because that, to me, should be a target.
Absolutely. So it's about, first of all, it's about framing. One of the interesting, if I can digress for just a second, but one of the reasons I'm at the university is that I bring, I have enough background that I can sit in an academic setting, but I bring, a perspective of the real world. Thing I teach my students is that your job is about framing. When you understand what we're really trying to achieve, then there's a lot of fun work figuring out how to do it, but it's all about how we frame this. We frame part of our objective as restoring the natural environment. We'll do it. We'll figure out how to do it, because there are places where we do. This is not something that would be a first of its kind. There are places where we do this now. We just need to do it much more broadly.
Maybe just moving out to Saudi Arabia. We are putting in place an innovation ecosystem, which is both technology pull, let's say, working with a wider global ecosystem, and also technology push from within. Our universities, our research institutes, like Wحدها, which is the Research Technology Innovation Institute. Any advice you can give us to actually be successful? We're talking today about finding solutions for arid regions that we can take globally. From what you've seen over those 5 decades, what tips could you give us to be successful as an innovation hub?
So what we really find is that the inventor of something, the idea person, they know They know how it works. If you want to bring it into practice, you have to learn how to look at it from the user's perspective. So to look at what it can do for someone else. That's the thing which is missing so often in terms of some idea, some invention, and so forth.
Focus on the customer, on the need.
Yeah. So if you're an entrepreneur, get out of your lab, get out of your office, go, and it's not talk to people, listen to them. Walk around with them, see what they do on a day-to-day basis, and figure out how what you can do makes their job easier, makes their job more effective. So it's getting that perspective. So in a sense, you need to become like an anthropologist that looks at it from the people perspective. So that's the things which actually get into practice. That happens.
That's very good advice. And I think finally, because I think we're also maybe tight for time here, you've now been probably in Jeddah for probably 24 hours or less, probably still jet lagged. And you've walked around, particularly with me, around the conference a bit. Again, there's a clear sense of ambition here and a very young population. Are you feeling at home? Is it a place you'd like to come back to? Can you bring more value than what you're already bringing today?
Well, the first couple of questions, absolutely. So ambition is good. Some people say ambition is bad. It's what you're ambitious about. So the world doesn't change unless you have ambition, unless you want to go do something. So no, this is, and you look at, we started off talking about desalinization and so forth, and this is the part of the world that really has made that in terms of providing the commercial opportunities to get it out of the laboratories and into practice. I mean, so continuing that contribution is invaluable. So whether I can add anything, that's for others to comment. I hope so. I hope I have some opportunities.
That's a very humble reply for someone with so much global expertise. I'd like to personally thank you, Professor Dieger, for taking this moment. And thank you very much.
If I could say one thing too, I hope we have some young people watching this podcast. The thing I would say to them is what a wonderful career water is. For a curious person, there's an infinite number of things to be curious about. These are water people are great people. They are humble, but do great things, and they're wonderful to work with, and you make a difference in the world. So if you're a person that wants to do that, come to water. We need you.
Thank you.